Hi, this is Mrs. Sebastian, and we're going to look at Exponent Basics. So what is the sum of 7/8 plus 3/4? So the first thing we need to do is find a common denominator. So I'm looking at both of these, and I do see that you have 8 and 4. And I know that the things that can go into 8 are 2 and 4. And this is just 4 and 1. You don't have to mention 1 because if you multiply by 1, you still end up with the same number. So over on this second fraction, I can find a common denominator of 8. And so if I multiply the 4 on the bottom by 2 to get a common denominator of 8, I also have to multiply the top by 2. So now I can rewrite this as 7/8 plus 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I just need to add across the top, 7 plus 6, that's 13, over my common denominator of 8. I can't leave it in an improper fraction form. So I need to say 8 can go into 13 one time with 5 left over. So the 5 goes over the common denominator of 8. Sylvia has 5.5 boxes of chocolate to share at a family picnic. If she gives each person 1/6 of a box, how many people can receive chocolate? So we've got 5.5, and I'm going to write down 1/6 over here, but I need to change 5.5 into a improper fraction, or an improper fraction. So what I'm going to do is I take my denominator and I multiply it by my whole number. So 5 times 2 plus the numerator. So 5 times 2 plus the numerator. So that's going to be 11 over 2. And then I'm going to divide it into 1/6 of a piece. So if you divide by a fraction, I like to call it nothing dot flop. You do nothing to the first one. You change the divide to a dot or a multiply, and you flop the second fraction, or you flip it over, 6 over 1. Okay, and I'll show you why this works in just a second. 11 times 6 is 66. And 2 times 1 is 2. And you can simplify that to 33. So, let's think about this a little differently. So, if each person gets 1/6 of a box, okay, you've got 1. Okay, I know I've got the best artistic skills in the world. That means each person, 6 people can share a box. Okay, that means for 2 boxes, you'd have 12 people. For 3 boxes, 18 people. 4 boxes would be 24 people. And 5 boxes would be 30 people. And then I can only go up another half. So there's 6 in a box, so 3 more would be 33. So there's 2 different ways to get that. But just remember that you do nothing to the first fraction. You leave it alone. You change the divide to a multiply, and you flip the second fraction. Which of these is not rational? So the square root of 5, 0.25 or 25 hundredths, 1/4, or the square root of 16. Well, an irrational number is a number that is not rational. Rational means it can be put in decimal or fraction form, or of course a whole number. So let's see, a decimal, that one's rational. A fraction, that one's rational. Can I simplify the square root of 16? Well, I know 4 squared is 16, so the square root of 16 is 4. That's a whole number. So the one that is not rational is square root of 5 because it will be a decimal that never repeats and never terminates. A student's work to solve 2 6/7 divided by 2/7 is shown below. So what do we agree with? So let's look at the work and see what we need to change or what was done correctly. So we've got 2 6/7 divided by 2/7. The first thing we have to do is change the 2 6/7 to an improper fraction. So 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6. That would be 20 over 7. So this should have been 20 over 7. Instead, they changed the divide to a multiply, but they flipped the first fraction. Oh no! So let's rewrite it the correct way. 20 over 7, you change the divide to a multiply and you write down the second fraction flipped. So 20 over 7. So 20 times 7 is 140. 7 times 2 is 14. What they should have got was 10. So hopefully that helps you look at these and analyze those errors. Which expression is equivalent to 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3? Okay, so what you do is you write down your base. The base is the number that is being multiplied. That's a 3. Your exponent up here is going to be how many times you see that 3. Let's count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 to the 6th. Deborah has 5/6 of a pound of loose green tea leaves. If she wants to keep 1/2 of the tea at home and the other half at work, what fraction of a pound will she have at work? So she's going to keep half of it at work. So we've got 5/6, and we want to know what 1/2 of it is. So we're going to multiply it by 1/2. So all we're going to do is 5 times 1, we're going to multiply across the top, and 6 times 2. So she will have 5/12 of a pound at work. We have a whole number minus a fraction. So the first thing we need to do is rewrite this as a fraction. And we can make this 7, and we want the common denominator to be 9. I know that 9 over 9 equals 1. So think about it as 7 plus 1. That'd give us this 8 here. I'm just rewriting it so it's a little bit easier to work with. So 7 minus something is 7, or 7 minus nothing is 7. 9/9 minus 4/9, 9 minus 4 is 5 over 9. Which expression is equivalent to negative 5/6? Okay, so we're going to say negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. I need to do this 6 times. So there's 4, 5, 6. So negative 5 times 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 negative 5. Now, I could simplify it if they needed me to. Negative times a negative is a positive. Same thing here. So 25 times 25 is 625 times this other 25. That gives me 15,625. So either one they need, whether it's the expanded form or the number, you can get to it. How would you convince a fellow student that the number 4300 is a rational number? Well, remember that a rational number is a number that can be written in fraction form. When you look at this, you know that the 4 is in the tenths place and the 3 is in the hundredths place. So what you know about that is this 43 is actually over 100. So because you can write 0.43 as a fraction, it is a rational number.